Hi, this is Bob Sorrentino from Italian Genealogy. I'm here with my buddy John Imperiali, and he's helping me with the second episode of our podcast. The first one was an intro that we put out there earlier today. So, John, how's everything?
Everything is good, Bob. It's good to finally see you.
Yes, we're working on a few bugs here. As you know, this is all about Italian genealogy. So the first question I have for you, and I probably should know this since we've been friends a long time, but are all your grandparents Italian or from Italy?
Yes. Yeah. Well, four of them are Italian, and they were born here in the United States, but they're of all Italian descent.
Right. So unlike me, your grandparents were born in the United States. My grandparents were all born in Italy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's a big difference. And I even had some aunts and uncles that were born in Italy too.
Okay. Well, I think it's the great-great-grandfather came here as a young boy right after the Civil War. So he arrived around 1865, plus or minus.
I was using another podcast host until I switched to Buzzsprout. I found that Buzzsprout offered much more for half the cost. For example, better access to get your podcast on directories such as Apple and Spotify, better tools to embed your podcast, and a free website. Check them out and receive a $20 Amazon gift card after signing up. Oh, wow. And that was one of the interesting blogs that I did. Well, we had I found out that there were 7 Italians at Custer's Last Stand.
Oh, gosh. But they all lived,
no,
right?
Actually, the only one who lived was the bugler, who they sent to go get help. Right.
Oh, wow.
And he wound up being around for quite a long time. So,
yeah.
So they arrived there. So they arrived before the main.
Yeah, that was on my father's side. I think my mother's side came over a little later, in the just at the turn of the century. But yeah, definitely, on my father's side, my great-great-grandfather came well before I think the big wave.
Cool. And so they were here before Ellis Island, all that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So where did they locate?
Well, they all settled in Brooklyn, New York, in one place or another. But that's where the family, both sides, they lived there for a long time, and up until recently, we've had family there. So everyone's now moved away from Brooklyn, but we're all from Brooklyn.
All right, yeah, we're all from Queens. Actually Manhattan when they first came over, and then they wound up in Queens. But my father was born in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, for some odd reason. I don't know why.
Or how that happened. Yeah. Well, whether it was Brooklyn or Queens or the Lower East Side, East New York, other than being separated by the river, that's very close. You walk across the Brooklyn Bridge into Lower Manhattan, so. Again, it's good proximity. Everything has proximity.
Right, and I think you also had an interesting story about your grandfather, right, in World War I?
I did. We found news clips. My grandfather was drafted. He was in his 20s, his mid-20s. So that would be old for a draft. So he was drafted, and of course he was sent. He was a doughboy, so he was sent to France, and he was reported KIA, killed in action, in one of the Brooklyn, the local Brooklyn papers in the morning edition. Well, you can imagine how that was received by the rest of the family, and I guess some inquiries were made, and there was a retraction in the afternoon edition, and he was reported as wounded in action, and he in fact received the Purple Heart for wounds in combat in France.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing. I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
I wouldn't be here now, that's for sure.
So my next question is, have you or anyone in your immediate family done a DNA test or thinking about it?
Yeah, yeah. My sister did the test, and it came back actually uh, with the predominance of our ancestry as much, if not more, French than Italian. I think the Italian blend like Italian Greek, but there was a predominance of French hereditary there. And in fact, she found a Marie Antoinette Imperiale dating back to the 1700s in the Naples area. So it looks like on my father's side, the Imperiale side, that they were mostly in that Naples area. And of course, back in the 1400s, the late 1400s, the French king come rolling through Italy and went down the east or whether we be the west coast of Italy, and right through Naples. So it's highly likely there was a lot of canoodling going around between the local peasant ladies and the soldiers. So it's quite possible how that name came to be, with our family staying in Italy.
Well, Imperiale is one of the noble families of Naples. I mean, there are plenty, and I think I have one floating around back in there someplace. I'll have to do my ancestry and type in Imperiale, see if your sister comes up. She might. You never know.
Yeah, but I guess the inheritance all ran out by the time it got to me.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately,
no castles, no treasure, and no manor.
I mean, some of our stuff is still there that I know about. We just don't own it anymore. So, but hopefully in April,
right.
In April we're going to go see a couple of them. So we'll see what happens.
That's good.
So I know, because we're friends, obviously, you're an avid reader of the Italian genealogy blog. So what topics do you enjoy the most?
Well, what piqued my interest was the surname origins, and that series that you were doing on the surnames, what it meant, where they came from. That's really what piqued my interest, and I think that happened to a lot of people. I think if you membership onto the blog, I think it really spiked when that piece was running. So I think that was really what got me interested. I like the Italian history. I like the geographical pieces where you talk about a specific geographic area, and I also like the cooking. I like recipes.
Yeah, I'd like to get some more recipes in there. I had my family recipes. I've been not trying to, but in fact been keeping to recipes that are original to the family, and I'm hoping when I go over there, I'm going to be able to squeeze some out from the Italians.
Yeah, that's good.
Some real recipes.
That's right. They're probably unwritten, so you'll have to squeeze them out. But was also interesting, though, is connecting the Italian to the American also. So honoring the veterans, the Italian American veterans was very good, I thought.
Yeah, thanks. And I enjoyed doing that one. And that was spurred by the video that my cousin's grandson did, where he talked about being on the ship in World War II and South Pacific and getting lost and all of that. And then I don't know if you got to see the one on my one uncle that stayed in Italy that didn't come here till the 1950s, where my cousin interviewed him in Bades many years ago, and finally, because I was leaning on him, translated it with his sister and came up with a great story about, what my uncle's life was in Italy after his mother and father came here, and he didn't see his mother for 45 years after that.
Wow.
So, and came with his whole family and everything.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you talk about Bades, because my grandmother on my mother's side used to call the thin spiral Italian sausage, and I never knew why. She used to call it Bades sausage.
Really?
So maybe there's some connection, going further back. But maybe they created that long spirally sausage.
Well, we called it, and that was everybody's favorite. We called it civelette, and the you can't get it with lamb anymore, but they used to it used to be lamb, cheese, and parsley. And,
wow. Okay.
And in the backyard, my uncles would be grilling that from morning till night. You get on.
Yeah.
You would get online with your roll, get your sausage, and get on the back of the line while you're eating the first sandwich to get the second sandwich.
Yeah. No, that's good. I love to make my sauces and peppers with that, although I don't always do that. But that was old family recipe.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, John. I appreciate that, and
Sure.
I'll be putting this together over the next couple of days, so you can listen to hear how good we sound together.
Excellent. Yeah. No, I think it's a good idea. It's a good format. Good luck with it, and waiting to see many more podcasts.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Signing off.
All right. Catch you later.
Bye now.
Bye.